In this short video, I'd like to show you some basic function of the SPSS. So firstly, please download the data sets called the Week2 sample data from the cameras. So this data set basically is a hypothetical data set for a class called the class number 1. So we have 59 students over here, and their study time, like hour per week, and the score, like in the numerical scores, okay? And also their letter grades. So in this one, I just use the 1 to represent A, and 2 as B, and 3 as C, and 4 as F. And also their commuting time, like the minutes, so per trip, and also the favorite food, so 1, 2, 3, 4, so which actually is over here. So 1 is pizza, 2 salad, and 3 dumplings, and 4 burgers, okay? So now these are data. Now let me show you how to import the data. Okay, so you have to close this first, and then open the SPSS. So the first thing you have to do is just file, import the data, Excel. So find the file, so Excel file. So open. So now let's see. It shows a overview over here. So it looks pretty good. Just click OK. Okay. So of course, if you are not able to import the data, you can always copy paste. So, but if you copy the data over here, and the thing is you have to manually input the title, but you import directly, then you don't have to. So now let's go to the variable view. So in this one, the class is recognized as nominal, which is correct, and the ID is recognized as a steel, so that's fine. But I mean, you can change it to nominal, right? So that's more reasonable. And the starting time, numerical data, so of course scale, that's good. So scores are scale, and also letter grades is actually is ordinal, right? Because the order that really matters, right? And the commuting time, scale, and the favorite food, of course, nominal, right? Because the order really doesn't really matter, right? Okay, over here. So now let's go to the letter grades. Because letter grades, if you still remember, we import as 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Because but I want to change to A, B, C, D, right? So what you can do is value, click on the put the mouse over here. You can see 3 dots. So then click the 3 dots and add the value 1 as A, right? 2 as B, 3 as C, and 4 as F. Okay, click OK. Then you can do the same thing for the favorite food. Okay, so value, click here and click 3 dots. You are able to activate this menu. Okay, to save the time, you can I just pause over. Okay, so I input everything. So click OK. So now let's go back to the data. So now you can see we change the number into the letter grades. If you want to change it back to the number, so you can just click the 1A over here. Okay, so you can just switch back and forth. So now let's do several practice. So the first one, let's do the histogram of the score. So what you can do is go to graph, histogram. In this case, I only want to see the score. So just put the score as a variable because we don't really have the other like the factor to split the data sets. So because we only have 1 class. So and I don't want to split them. So it's very simple. Just click the score and then click OK. So now you can see a histogram. So you can just edit this a little bit. Okay, just click the graph. You can activate we call the chart editor. So because now they separate the score into different intervals. So to make it easier, so we can click any bar. You can activate this menu. So go to the binding. So in this case, the x-axis is automatically sets different intervals, but I want to set my own. So go to the customer. So we want to see like the interval with like every 5, counted by 5. So that means I want to see like 7 to 75, 75 to 80, and 85 to 90, things like that. So let's apply. Okay, close. So now you can see let's take a look at the graph. So of course you can close it. You can go back to this graph. So in this case, you can see the histogram. So that means 70 to 80. So the 5 means 5 students score within the range of 75 to 80, right? So in this case, for example, 90 to 95, you can see 15 students, and of the 59, 15 students in the range of 90 to 95. And maybe 4 students, 95 to 100, and maybe only 1 student scores 100, right? So basically, this is a histogram. So the X basically is the intervals. So the score interval and the Y-axis is just a number of students, or we can say the frequency, right? Okay, so now let's go back to this one. So in addition to this, we can also to plot the correlation between the score and the study time. So in general, we know that if you study more, probably you have a better scores, right? So now let's see if this is true, okay? So what you can do is you just go to the graph. In this case, we use a scatter and the dots, okay? So click this one. So because this one, we won't have 2 factor, just go to the simple scatter, okay, define. So the X, I want to put like the study time, but of course you can put score, but that's just switch and X, Y. So in this case, I just put the study time as like the X and the Y as the score, okay? So, and click OK. So now you can see, we see a pretty strong trend, right? So if you study the more per week, you have a better grades, right? So the general trend is like study more, better performance. Okay, so now let's go to this one. And also we can see the correlation between the score and the commuting time. So maybe, I mean, if you have a less commuting time, you have a more time for study, right? But whether or not that's true, so we can see it. We can try to take a look. So scatter. So in this case, we just instead of put the study time, we put them back and we put the commuting time. So click OK. There we go. So technically, we are not really able to see the correlation, right? Because they are pretty just scattered around, right? So everywhere, right? We are not able to see the trends, right? Okay. So the next one, we can also do something like this. We can just get some like the very basic descriptive statistics. So go to analyze. You can click the descriptive statistics. You can either see the frequency or descriptives. Okay. So these two are the functions are pretty similar. Okay, let's do this one. Descriptives. I want to see the score. So technically you can put it over here and click the option. I want to see the mean, I want to see the standard deviation, minimum, max, and also, of course, you can see the standard error, right? And also you can click the kurtosis and the skewness. So continue. Okay. So here we go. It shows the average, mean, and the standard error, and also you can see the standard deviation. And the skewness, we have 2 numbers, right? So 0.3, and this one is negative 0.334. So you just remember this data first, then during the class we can explain.